Olá, Lucas e Patrícia. Eu sou Wim Dijkgraaf, holandês. Eu morei ou morava no Brasil durante uns 11 anos, mais ou menos. 7 anos em São Paulo. A minha família, 4 crianças, todos são brasileiros. A minha esposa também, então eu gostei de fazer, como chama, não é uma entrada, mas começar esse vídeo em português, mas eu vou continuar em inglês, porque todos os detalhes para mim é bem mais fácil de mostrar em inglês. So I'm going to switch now to English. Sorry for that. I would like to, as a quick starting point for the meeting that we have planned on next Wednesday, I would like to introduce you quickly to our platform and the idea and the necessity and requirements for the planning module. What we do is we have a software as a service solution currently specifically for metal factories, and our platform helps them to create quotations much faster, easier, and more consistently than most factories are capable of doing right now. So many factories spend lots of hours, days, sometimes weeks to create quotations based on technical drawings, and we reduce that whole process to only minutes or hours. And I'm going to give you a broad overview of what our platform does, and I especially zoom in where the relationship is with the planning module. So what I'm going to do now is I log in. It's a multi-tenant platform, so I log into our own environment. Then the process starts creating a new request for quotation or a new quotation. I call this demo quotation, and we do this for a customer named Metal Heaven. So it starts with a blank slate, a blank screen. Then a factory receives, for example, through email, CAD drawings. Mostly, at least here in Europe, that's based on STEP file format. That's a standard CAD drawing format, that like an interchange format. And what you see here is that what I uploaded is a simple assembly made out of 3 pieces of sheet metal. What a Rhodium platform does is it automatically creates a bill of material that you see here. So these are the individual parts. Then if it is sheet metal, that's one of the things it does. Then it has recognized that in order to manufacture this, sheet cutting as a working step is necessary, and bending is necessary. Here as well, sheet cutting and bending. And we see the attributes of the raw material that this could be made of. So Rhodium has seen that it can be made out of a sheet, in this case 3 mm and 2 mm thickness. In the back end, what has been done is the following. So what we do is we estimate production times and raw material usage. And production time estimation is done based on what we call geometric cost drivers. That's what you see here. So for example, if a laser machine has to cut this out of a sheet, this here, it has to pierce 10 times through the sheet, and then it has to follow 10 contours with a specific length, etc. And the machine can do that with a certain speed, and that's how we estimate the production time to laser cut this. You see also bending information, like for instance here 4 bends are recognized or detected. Some can be done in one go, so you see 2 groups of bendings with all the bending details. So these are geometric cost drivers. Now, in order to come up with a pricing, two things have to be done by the user. For example, the amount. So 10 times this assembly has to be manufactured. And here the material type. Let's suppose steel with the quality of S235GR, which is a symbol symbolizing a certain, how do you say that? A chemical substance. What you see, Rhodium has done now two things. It has selected from the article catalog the exact article, so you see an article number and an article description. So it's an article that normally comes from an ERP system, and it knows the price, the purchasing price of this, so it has selected the best possible article. And here you see that it has chosen a specific resource or machine that is capable of doing this or performing this working step type. And now actually the estimation is done, both estimation of material usage as well as production times. Material usage you see here, so we do a nesting. So for example, you see the green part is a remnant piece, and the gray part here is the full usage of the material. Here you see that we make a small mistake. That's a bug in the current nesting engine that should be here, and then the green part would be the remnant piece. That's the material estimation. We also do a production time estimation. So for example, if we click here, then we see for sheet cutting, for the loading of the machine, we see an estimated time. We see for the sheet cutting itself an estimated time, and we see for the unloading of the machine an estimated time, and the same for the bending machine. And this is a graphical representation, and well, the details are not that important in the at this moment in time, but you see that we do an estimation of production times. Currently this is based on estimators written in Excel sheets. We also have a machine learning infrastructure, so if we can feed Rhodium with actual production times, and then neural networks are trained and can take over the estimations in Excel. So here you see estimated production times. Well, what we want to enhance the platform with is that besides being able to quote based on estimated production times and estimated raw material usage, that we can also estimate the delivery date, such based on, for example, the availability or the available capacity of resources. Those resources you actually see here, so this is a machine, this is a machine. What we do in Rhodium is, as part of the onboarding process of a new customer, we configure the virtual factory. And one part of the virtual factory is the capabilities of the factory. So what you see here are the working step types, or the manufacturing steps. And here, for example, you see sheet cutting with and that this factory has 4 machines. These are brands and models, etc. So for example, if we open up this one, then we see nesting parameters for material usage determination, specifically configured for this machine. Then here you see loading, sheet cutting, and we see unloading. So the idea is that that we have a capacity planning module as part of Rhodium that our users can use in order to estimate feasible delivery times as part of the whole quotation process. And then, of course, based on the demanded delivery time. So from a customer perspective, we can do kind of margins or surcharges, etc. But most important is that there is a capacity planning mechanism such that as part of the quotation process, we can tell the customer or that the factory has insight in the feasibility of delivery dates for the quotation process. This mechanism of how to plan that, by the way, the real capacity can come from ERP. So in the end, if a quotation here becomes an order, so for example, we brought out this as a quotation, so a quotation was made, a negotiation phase takes place, and as soon as the customer says, okay, I want to order this, this is the moment in time that we synchronize this whole bill of material, bill of labor, all the details in the ERP system, and further production planning, etc. takes place in the ERP system. The idea is that the ERP system is going to feed Rhodium with the actual available capacities of all the resources as known in the Rhodium system. And that based on the available capacity, Rhodium has a planning module to determine if certain delivery dates are feasible and to what extent that is feasible. That's roughly the idea. So what we have done as a preparational work with Jeroen Gerritsen, that's a Dutch name, sorry for the sound of that, but Jeroen Gerritsen is a well-known consultant. He knows about detailed planning, etc., for these types of factories. And together with him, we came up with a very pragmatic, very low-level kind of minimum viable product kind of planning. Of course, we can extend that in the future, but the first idea is to have a close look at if that is feasible, if discrete event simulation and your library is the right tool to do this with. Also, we would like to discuss whether you see further possibilities or low-hanging fruit or whatsoever. Anyway, in the email that I've sent you, you find the Excel sheet that we set up as a mock-up kind of thing as an attachment. And Jeroen himself has also recorded 2 videos. One for the planning methodology for the internal resources, so the machines that the factory itself has, as well as the planning method for outsourced work. He gives a specific working step type, which is called powder coating. It's kind of a surface treatment, as an example, that is outsourced to another factory, and the whole planning methodology for that is also included in a separate video. So I hope to have given you a package that gives some direction in what we are thinking of and the needs we have in the system. And I hope to have a really fruitful conversation with you on next Wednesday. Muito obrigado pela atenção e grande abraço e nós vamos nos encontrar e ver no Teams, Microsoft Teams, próximo quarta-feira. Quarta-feira. Obrigado. Tchau, tchau. Grande abraço.